Hello and welcome to Hibstock. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
All right.
And Liam.
Hello.
We are live on twitch.tv/Hibstock. We're here as we are every Monday at 7 o'clock. And we're obviously available as a podcast as well. So thank you for those that are joining us live. Get your questions in. And thank you for those that listen as a podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Anyway, guys, more important than that, how are you guys getting on?
Good, mate. Just the weather helps, doesn't it? Makes everyone feel quite good.
Scorching the day, and apparently meant to be like this all week.
Yeah, I'm working tons, but I should be able to get a few games of bowls and that at night, Ken. Get the old bowl in here, man.
Liam, how was your weekend?
It was good, mate. Met up with a couple of my pals. Had a nice few drinks. It's always good to get a bit of vitamin sun. So, it's nice.
What about you, Gav? You've been hiding?
Aye. I mean, the factor 50 is still on the now, genuinely. But yeah, I actually went out and done some of the when I got back to work, because I was actually out a lot in the sun today at work, and then I thought, I've been out in the sun, so I can justify hiding. But now I went out in the back garden and got some more notes done for the pod on my laptop in the back garden, which was actually quite nice. So yeah, I did get some sun, but factor 50 definitely to protect myself. But yeah. So like I say, we've got a busy show today. We're going to obviously be chatting about Europe, and we're going to be chatting about the fact that some of the friendlies last week, and obviously some news as well, some breaking news, which was just sort of we got told about. Dave, I mean, there's obviously been a thing with the tickets, 2,000 tickets announced. I was originally going to talk about this earlier on, but since it's breaking news, we'll kind of bring it forward. 2,000 tickets, which kind of went very quickly today, and it's just been announced another 2,700, so bringing it up to 4,700. What's your kind of thoughts on the ticket allocation?
Well, it's still not enough. When you think about the guidelines and what it's went, I agree with everybody that says that it just doesn't make any sense. I thought we could have probably pushed to try and get basically every single season ticket holder a ticket. I think we could have probably went half capacity, but I'll take 4,700 over nothing. But they've left it quite late. Like, I know they had to wait on the council, but like, it's Monday night, do you know what I mean? Like, they have left it quite short late.
Yeah, I mean, Liam, is this one where we kind of say, come on, Hibs, what's going on? Or do we kind of blame the council more for taking their time to get Hibs an answer, and that's why Hibs were kind of forced to put out the 2,000 today?
I think it's Hibs have probably put in the case a wee while ago. It's probably been sitting with the council, to be honest. I can't imagine Hibs waiting this long and then only releasing an extra amount of tickets 2 days before the game. I don't think that would have been their choice. So, then again, I've not got a clue how these things work. But let's just blame the council. The potholes all over Edinburgh need fucking sorted as well, so you can start on them. No.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, it seemed quite similar. Hibs and Aberdeen both going for, a certain amount of tickets. Aberdeen were able to announce last week. So surely, I mean, I don't want to assume, but it seems like the kind of difference is the different councils. So Aberdeen able to announce, was it 6,700 or something like that last week, and able to get tickets kind of on sale at the end of last week. We've had to wait until Monday. I'm sure the club don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah, no, they won't, because it's putting pressure on the club, like getting the tickets out to fans. I'm assuming we're going to have to collect and all that. I don't know, I haven't looked in it because I didn't get a ticket.
A lot of it'll be e-tickets and stuff, so on your phone, 20.
Hope so. I was a wee bit concerned, and I seen somebody else say this on Twitter, but I logged into my ticketing app, and then it says I wasn't a season ticket holder. And I'm like, no, definitely am. And then I checked my account history, and then it's got it there saying that I've bought one, and I'm like, but it's just got last year's season ticket. It doesn't say 2021, 22.
Strange.
Yes. How funny would it be if you've paid all that money and it's no.
Aye, I'm a wee bit confused, but I never had any luck. But I think you see everybody complaining on Twitter that it's a shambles and that, but then the people that got the tickets are fairly happy. So it's whatever way it went for you, you're going to think, because I thought the whole thing was a shambles, but if I got tickets, I'd have been quite happy. So yeah, I mean, like, can't really say much.
So I guess the only sort of other big bit news this week was Stevie Mallon departing. Liam, we never really worked out the way we'd kind of hoped for Mallon, did it? Some good performances, good goals, but aye.
I said earlier in the week on Twitter, and I got a wee bit of backlash, not backlash, but folk laughing at me saying, I said that Stevie Mallon leaving is going to be the worst business that will do all window. And I can tell that he's already ready to laugh at me. But,
No.
like, they can. I just felt like he never really got a chance because he was either in for like cup games and stuff. Well, more recently in for cup games and not being able to keep his place. I thought he played all right when he played for Hibs last season, but I just didn't think he was given his fair chance. In his first season, in his second season, maybe, but last season I thought he could have given a lot more than someone like Halberg could have given. But then again, he's obviously wanting to leave and play in Turkey. He must have enjoyed it over there if he's away permanently. So best of luck to him. But I wasn't gutted, but I was disappointed to see him leave because I think he's a good player.
I mean, Dave, we spoke. I think you have to go back to like some really older podcasts. There's podcasts that I think we even titled an episode of "We're Playing Malin Too Deep." We spoke a lot about him being asked to do a defensive role, which maybe wasn't his game. Is that maybe kind of hindered him a wee bit?
Yeah, because he's good at creating stuff. Let's face it, he can't tackle. He's not got any. That side of his game's just not there. So if you're telling him to do a defensive role, he is going to get caught out. And if you're asking him to play, like he likes to play, get on the ball and like play passes and that about, and then if he's doing that deep, then he's more likely to make mistakes, and so he's going to get folk on his back, especially when you're not creating stuff if you're playing as deep. But the thing that I'll probably miss most about Stevie Mallon is I would have preferred him to be in the squad, because I think bringing Stevie Mallon on would be more beneficial than when you look at our bench now, like who we got to bring on to change a game. Or do you know what I mean? Like Dre Wright, and we're bringing on Stevenson and that all the time. It just doesn't feel like. I would have much rather look at the bench and be like, right, Mallon's got a goal on him, Mallon's got something in him if we're pushing forward. But I think long term, if we want to improve in that, he probably just wasn't going to be good enough. But I don't think he did get a fair crack at it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think I think if he's one of these players who can make something out of nothing, I think sometimes, like when he picks the ball up, 25, 30 yards out, and quite often we see him like smashing at the top corner. And is there anyone on the bench at the moment who can come on and provide that sort of moment, or come on and stick a free kick in the onion bag? I'm not sure there is, but then again, is it worth keeping someone on? I understand I'm being contradicting here, but is it worth keeping someone on just for to bring them on the off chance they'll score a long shot or a free kick? But I don't know. I just think it was a bad bit of business. And we've also got a question here from K-Rob 1989. How much did we get for him? I think I read it was like 150 grand.
Yeah, I heard roughly. I remembered a 6-digit fee between 100 and £2,000. So yeah, that would kind of match up with that.
102.
I mean, 100, but somewhere between 100 and 200,000.
Oh,
so that 150 would kind of match up with that rumor. I don't know that for a fact though. But yeah, I mean, it's to me, he's kind of the one that's kind of like Dave sort of says. If we're looking to improve and constantly challenge for third, is he good enough to be a starter in the team? To me, the answer is no. Even in the number 10 position, or out as a left winger or something, I don't think he's a starter for Hibs. He's probably on a big wage. We can get money for him. It's probably better to me. It's better business to get money that we can invest somewhere else in the team. And especially, I mean, I can imagine he's exactly quite happy being a bench warmer and coming on for 20 minutes. He probably wants to start and be an important player. So if he wants, if he's going to be one of the ones to kind of force through the move in order to get minutes, fair play to him as well. So best of luck to him. Unfortunately, never worked out for him. But yeah, hopefully he has a good spell over there. 2-year deal. So aye. So like I said, we'll no kind of going about this too much because obviously it was last week, but we'll have to talk about a wee bit Arsenal, Dave.
We did, but I wasn't too much of a huff with Hibs for the ticket price, so I didn't even. I didn't even watch it, and then one of my mates texted me and was just like, like you seen the score and that, and I was like, no way, because I went away and played bowls instead, because I was so proud of it. And then I was like, checked the score 2-0, and I was like, oh, you're kidding me on. So fair play to the 2,000 folk or whatever it was that paid the 26 quid. That would have been quite good.
Yeah. Did you see the game, Liam?
Nah, I wasn't. It was a fuck paid 26 quid or 8 quid to watch it. I caught a wee bit of it on his goal, but it was I couldn't stand watching it because it was fucking like Mexican commentators, like they go on nuts about stuff,
Aye.
And every time Arsenal touched the ball, they were getting all excited, and then every time Hibs go out, they were all calm in that game. But I've seen the goals back. I don't know anything how, like, if we dominated the game or that, but the goals are all right. I mean, good from Boyle to pounce onto a mistake for the goalie, and maybe got a wee bit lucky for the header. I think it was about 7 light years offside, but they all count. So who cares? Did they get VAR and friendlies?
Well, I was there, so I'll talk about it. I wasn't planning to, so I'll kind of wing this, but I'll talk about the game a bit, I guess. I was really impressed with Hibs. The way they were set up, they just seemed really structured. Everyone knew their role. And for a pre-season friendly, I thought they played, I think maybe did benefit the fact that this was Arsenal's first game. They were a bit more off the pace than Hibs. Hibs were a bit sort of, but you couldn't tell that Hibs were the Scottish Premiership side and Arsenal are, a mid-table English side. Let's face it. But it was. I was really impressed with the display. It wasn't a case of just hitting them on the counter. We were trying to do things. We were keeping the ball at times. Second half, Arsenal looked a bit better. They brought on Pepe and Lacazette, who looked dangerous, but again had no end product. And I think credit's got to go to the Hibs defence as well. So overall, I would say a really good performance. So Alex, a couple of things coming off the back of it. Alex, that was followed up with a 3-1 win over Wraith Rovers. Goals from Bradley, Nisbet, and Porteous. So I've got a wee clip here, so I'll clip this. So this is I spoke to Jack Ross after the Arsenal game, and then we'll have a chat off the back of what he's saying afterwards.
You spoke about Stephen Bradley last season, quite excited about him. 60 minutes a day, really didn't look out of place, did he?
No, I think he's at he was a little unfortunate last season because we couldn't put him on loan because I think we probably needed him in matchday squads. He's trained with me for a year now and he's made big strides forward. Players like him, he deserves to play tonight. He's been good pre-season, and I thought he acquitted himself well. There's still little bits of the game he needs to improve upon, but he's at that key moment that we either decide to put him on loan or he stays with us and produces performance tonight. I think it's one that you want to say, right, is he good enough to be an asset to us as the season goes on. But yeah, I'm excited about him. He's a really good young player. It's just then transferring that onto big pitches and competitive games.
There seems to be quite a bit of balance in the team as well, and quite a few positions where there's competition for places already.
Yeah, I think we had that last season, but you want it to have that continuously, and you want to improve the quality. So I'm trying to be really careful with recruitment. Jake, who's missed out tonight, is a really good player, and fans will see that when he gets on pitch and gives really good competition in that area. But we would like to give more competition defensively and in forward areas. I think that's obvious. We relied upon the same players a lot last season, so we want to have that challenge for positions. But we're being patient. We need to, because of the squad and how they performed last season. I think we need to make sure it's ones that are good players. Sounds very simple again, but that's the key for us.
And I know you've probably spoken about it a few times already, but fantastic to see fans back today, wasn't it?
Yeah, I must admit I forgot when I came out to do my pre-match interview that they were back in the stadium, and nice to see them, and quite emotional actually to see them back in. I've been lucky that over the last year and a bit I've continued to be able to come to stadiums every week, but speaking to them as I went round and speaking to kids and speaking to families and fathers and sons, daughters, etc., that and understanding how excited they were to be back in the stadium, and sounded like an awful lot more than 2,000 tonight. Hopefully there'll be a lot more than that next Thursday, but just brilliant to see people back in the stadium, and hopefully they enjoyed tonight, and we can continue to provide that type of commitment and performance when they're back in the stadium in bigger numbers.
Brilliant, thanks for the track.
Cheers, thank you.
So yeah, as Jock Ross said there, hopefully more than 2,000. It is more, but not a lot more. Just 4,700, unfortunately. But yeah, so like I said, I had a chat with Jack Ross there. So a couple of things coming off the back. First thing, we can all agree, fantastic to see fans back in any capacity. Dave, I think, what's it, 497 days, I think I worked it out as. Crazy it's been that long. And yeah, okay, it's not the full amount, but we're just desperate to get the full stadium as well, though, aren't we?
Yeah, I can't wait. I said for ages that I'm not going to go back until it's a full stadium. I'd rather just, and then obviously the day 3 o'clock try to get tickets for 2,000. Fucking hypocrite. But I'm still going to try tomorrow just to get in. But to be fair, we should beat this mob. The Diddy outfit. So
Yeah. And I mean, Jack Ross spoke about quite a bit about Stephen Bradley. It's only been friendlies, but I mean, obviously, decent competition as well. But he's kind of got to take his chance to kind of prove he can be competitive and kind of be an asset to the squad, as Jack Ross put it. And he's not done himself any harm, has he?
Nah, definitely not. I never watched the Red Rovers game either. I mean, some fucking guy to be on a Hibs podcast now, you know what I mean? But no. So what I seen Stevie Bradley last season, the few times that he came on, he looks like a decent wee player. I'm not too sure how old is he? Is he 17 or is he 18? Age is made like. So he's still got a lot to learn, but there's definitely a fair bit of potential there. I think it was the game against Hamilton when we beat them. Was it 4-0 at New Douglas Park? And he come on in the second half, and he looked pretty lively, albeit against a struggling Hamilton side who are 4-0 down. But I think I've liked what I've seen so far. I'd like to see him be part of the squad going forward this season, but maybe alone would help him out a wee bit more. We are getting a season of first team games under his belt.
Aye, really exciting one. I think he looked, like I said, coming up against, I don't maybe know sort of first choice left back, but still a really high caliber left back in Kolasinac. Is that right? How you pronounce it? Aye, the left back at Arsenal didn't look phased at all. Took him on, beat him a few times. Didn't look out of place at all. So fair play to him for that. But I mean, also another thing in the friendlies. I mean, there's been a few sort of changes in the midfield. McGuinness came off the bench and impressed against Arsenal, and then started against Wraith Rovers. Him and Newell playing together. And obviously Jack Ross sort of mentioned there about Jake Doyle-Hayes as well, and how Hibs fans should be really excited by him. Dave, it seems like, just off the top of my head, there's Jake Doyle-Hayes, McGuinness, Newell and Gogic competing for 2 places.
Yeah, and it's probably not the worst thing, because you're not going to need Gogic in some games. Seeing you're playing at home to Ross County and that's not the type of player we should be putting in there. We should have maybe more creative midfielders and take the game to them and make them defend. Sometimes I think with teams like that, if you've got a sitter and then you're just letting them breathe a wee bit, it's not what you want. You want to just be on top of them. So I think having options is probably quite a good thing.
Yeah, aye. And I mean, the formation that we seem to be playing these friendlies has been the 4-2-3-1. Seem to be sticking like that. So I mean, is there maybe a case to say that Liam, that Jack Ross is trying to get the best out of Scott Allen and potentially sort of build the team around him?
I don't see why not, because he's in now the twilight of his career. Probably he's going to be in the peak of his career. He's Jack Ross is obviously confident in the whole season of him, because he seems to be leaning heavily on him in the friendlies from the lineups I've seen. I'd be happy to play that formation. I think, although it leaves out either Nisbet or Deutsch, I think the support with Boyle and maybe Mackay out wide left with Allen just sitting in behind the strikers, it'll give a lot of teams a lot of bother, I think. And if we see a fully fit Allen for, hopefully the majority of the season, I think we'll be playing nice football anyway with him in there. It's probably his best position, I think.
I mean, David, I did have a good season a couple of seasons ago. Obviously not so much last season, but a couple of seasons ago, I think he got 7 or 8 goals or something, quite a few assists as well. But I mean, it seems like even now, now that all this stuff's behind him, he's even in an even better position. He's got a platform to do even better this season, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm proper buzzing about it. That Scott Allen feels like a signing. Getting him back feels like completely fresh, and he's the type of player that when you go to Easter Road and you see him, he's playing, you feel buzzing to watch him, because he's just got that, hasn't he? He's got that entertainment value about him. So yeah, as well building it around him than building Bordon around players that are not going to be here, like, or that players are going to be coming in for. Like, no point building a team around Doidge and Nisbet, when Nisbet could possibly be away type thing. So, yeah.
So if it is the 4-2-3-1, that would be a back four. So I asked you guys to do some homework, and like I say, we put this up in the socials earlier on to get everyone else's opinions and stuff. So if we are sticking with the four, Dave, starting with yourself, who's the four defenders that's in your strongest back four?
Right, I've got reasons for this as well, because I know it might not be that popular. I'm going to go McGinn, Porteous, Hanlon, Doig.
Okay, that was what the majority of people said on social media, so it's not that.
Oh, was it? I never looked.
That's fine. Liam?
I would go Cadden, Porteous, a new centre half, and Doig.
Well, like I say, the question was the current squad, but I'll let you off with it.
I would. If we didn't sign anyone else, it'd be Porteous and Hanlon in the middle. But I'd have Cadden. I prefer Cadden as a more attacking fullback option.
Yeah. I mean, the next question was a yes or no question. Liam, you've pretty much already answered it with a yes. So, Dave, would you like to see someone cut in and compete at the centre back position with Porteous and Hanlon?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. You mentioned that in the pod a few weeks ago, so I knew that was a yes as well. So, but yes.
Yeah.
So, like I say, this is what we're going to have a chat about today. So, I've done some homework here. So, I have got four realistic centre back targets, players we've either been linked with. Or players we think that Hibs should be linked with. And if this works as a segment, we'll maybe do it more times in future transfer windows, and maybe this transfer window with other positions. But like I say, the way Jack Ross kind of spoke there as well about when we're talking about competition for places, he spoke about needing somebody up top and somebody at the back. So I think he is looking for a centre back and a centre forward. That seems to be pretty clear. Obviously, that's dependent on who goes, but so like I say, but we'll get into that. So like I say, I've got four players here. And then a few questions about each player. So the first one I've got is Jason Kerr. So Jason Kerr started his career with St John's in 2014. Edinburgh born and is believed to be raised a Hibby. 24-year-old, 6 foot. His contract is until May the 31st next year, so 2022. Obviously won the Cup double with St Johnstone and 42 games in all competitions for them last season. Liam, start with yourself. Can St Johnstone be afford to be risking him running down his contract going into the final year of his contract, or should they cash in now?
I don't know. I think it would be wise for them to cash in, but you can also see why they didn't want to let him go. He's their star man, he's the captain. But if you're Jason Kerr at the moment, do you want to leave? You've just won the Cup double, but to take your team into Europe, you really want to leave, but I think they should cash in, and I think they should sell him to Hibs, and that'll be the end of it.
I mean, in terms of the contract one, it's not one that Hibs could pursue due to sort of domestic being in the same league. We couldn't approach him in January, I believe, because he was under 24, and compensation would be due as well, unfortunately. Dave, are you surprised that there's been reports that we've been putting in a bid for McCart, who we're going to talk about in a minute, and not for Kerr?
Yeah, well, to be fair, any one of the St Johnstone defenders would probably get in our team now because they were an absolute pain in the arse to us, so I'd take any one of them. But yeah, Kerr was probably the most obvious one, but I don't know if that was just the most obvious to Hibs fans because there's a whole palaver about him being a Hibby and apparently that means something. I don't give a shit who he supports as long as he comes and is decent. But that whole, he could play with St Johnstone in Europe, it's fine. So what I would do, I would let him play for St Johnstone in Europe against PSV or Galatasaray, whoever they get. They'll get horsed out and then he can just come to us and then he's done everything that he wanted to do. He's won a Cup double and he's played in St Johnstone and then he can jump ship. We're going to be out anyway, so he's not going to be cup tied.
Liam, do you think Kerr is maybe one that Hibs would maybe more look at if Porteous was sold rather than an addition? Because I can imagine they wouldn't be cheap.
I can't imagine that St Johnstone will be parting with him for, a little amount of money. You're thinking maybe £750,000 to £1 million for him. But I think the only realistic chance of us getting him is if Porteous leaves, or if we can, sell Hallberg for $1 million or something. Maybe. Although Tom James has just let sign for Leighton Orient, apparently, according to the chat here on YouTube. sorry to do your job, Gav, and break
No,
the
it's
news.
fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Best of luck to Tom James. I'm sure
Yeah.
we kind of spoke about him quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, fair play. Best of luck to Tom James.
A 1 year deal, allegedly.
I wonder if we just got any money for him or just let him go because he still had a year left in his contract. Don't know. Well, I'll come out in the
He's a
comments.
player, him, eh?
Aye. But yeah, so one that we did that we've definitely been going for is Jamie McCart. That has been there was a report from the Edinburgh Evening News that we had a bid rejected of £200,000. However, unlike Kerr, he is right-footed. Unlike Kerr, who is right-footed, McCart is a left-footed centre back. Came through at Celtic Youth and was loaned out to Inverness, St Mirren and Alloa. Joined Inverness on a permanent deal in 2018-19 on a 2-year deal. In January, however, he signed a pre-contract with St Johnstone, and there was a fee agreed so he could join the club in the January. After 18 months at St Johnstone, he's played 58 games, obviously won the cup double as well. And as I said, the report of the bid rejected. Dave, we just spoke about Kerr potentially being more of a replacement for Porteous if Porteous goes. Do you feel that McCart is more somebody that would come in now to add to the defence and kind of start competing now? And potentially, left-footed competing with Hanlon for the jersey.
Yeah, to be fair, I think if Kerr or McCart comes in, the best start ahead to what we've got now. So that's what we need. We need to sign starters. No squad players. No for centre half. Is there any reason why we couldn't get two of them? I know that folk are going to say money and talking about realistic, but see, like realistic signings, it's like, see if we can't get players that have got less than a year in their contract for St Johnstone. It's like, come on, like, do we need a wee bit of reality check? Like, I think I support like one of the biggest clubs in the world sometimes, and then it's like, can he sign boys for St Johnstone? It's like, yeah. Tell them about the big screens and that are coming. That's what that would get me in straight away.
So I mean, this question was going to reword this question. I was going to say if no one goes and only McCart comes in, would you be happy? But I'll change that to if Porteous went and Kerr and I'll put this to both of you: if Kerr and McCart came in and Porteous left, would you be happy with where the defence was in terms of numbers and quality?
Yeah.
No, I would want one more.
So you think we need two centre backs as it is?
Well, if Porteous goes, I think we'll need another one as well as Kerr and McCart.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Like I said, I think that would be what I guess. There's times we've played the back three. It's just whether McGinn's going to be used potentially as a part of. I don't know if he's played in the back four before as a centre back. I know obviously he's played the back five, but that'll be interesting to see how many we are after. And like I say, McCart, potentially start. So the next name I've got here is a bit of a strange one. We kind of got rumours about this morning, so I don't know how much truth this is in this. But Aleem Oztuk, the former Hearts defender, Dave shaking his head immediately. 6'3", he's an out-and-out centre back. Contracted until the 30th of June next year, 2022. 28-year-old. Started his career in Turkey, went to Hearts, went back to Turkey, went to Sunderland, and is now back in Turkey at. Let's have a look at this. Umranyaspor. Let's hope that's right. And they're in the TFF First League, which is pretty much the second tier in Turkey. And he was so popular with Hearts fans, they named a beer after him. Let's have a look. 40-yard screamer. Here's him pouring the beer. Dave, your reactions when you hear us linked with a former Hearts player?
This deserves absolutely no time on the podcast. I would urge you almost even edit this out because I'm not what I talk about it. I'm not entertaining the idea. I don't want him for childish reasons, completely childish reasons. I don't want an ex-Jambo, especially him in the pub pouring the pints. Nah, and he's playing over in Turkey, obviously that level as well. He's at what age? He should be in his prime. His career seems to be going downhill. Nope.
28-year-old.
Yep, stay over there, mate. Not interested.
I mean, I guess that one of the reasons this rumour might have came about, if there's just sort of people guessing, Liam, would be the fact that Jack Ross likes players that have played in the country and likes players that he knows before, obviously going back to St Mirren quite a lot. He's obviously managed Oztuk at Sunderland, player he knows well. Do you think that there could be anything in this, and do you think that's maybe...
I think it's easy to link. It's easy to link Ozturk and Jack Ross because of Sunderland, but Well, he kens where the goal is at Easter Road, so I mean, why not? Why not take a chance on him?
Absolutely not, Liam.
Nah, to be honest, I mean, I can't really remember all that well of how good a defender he was. Obviously, he played for the Hearts team who romped the league in the championship. I can't remember for the life of me really what he was like after that, or I don't know what he was like at Sunderland or what he's like now. So I think it's an easy link to make, but again, no for me really. He's a good-looking guy, but not for me.
So it's a no for me and probably nonsense is kind of the conclusion we've got for that one. So the final name here I've got is Stephen Welsh. He's also 6'3", 21-year-old. One season alone at Morton in 2019-20 season where he played 18 games, obviously, but the season ended early. 15 appearances for Celtic last season. I have to say I thought it was more. I thought I see him in the team sheet quite a bit more. Signed a long-term contract, so is at Celtic until 2025. And he's probably on bigger wages. So a permanent deal is probably off the table, but potentially a loan. As Celtic have signed the boy for Sheffield Wednesday. Again, I'm horrendous at names. I'm not going to butcher it. And Starfelt, the Swedish defender, they're close to signing him from Rubin Kazan. So even if Ayer does go, it seems like he's going to be down the pecking order, probably third or fourth in the pecking order. Dave, I mean, 21-year-old, really, that's an age where you at centre back we should be out playing, not sitting on the bench, eh?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I quite like to look at him quite a few times. I thought he was pretty decent. I'm surprised if he doesn't get much of a look in at Celtic. I thought the fans in that took to him quite well as well, nah?
Yeah, but I mean, they've spent $7 million on two defenders, so I'd imagine he's down the pecking order behind them.
Yeah, but whether he would want to come to Hibs or no, when at the end of the day he's 21, he could still be like in and out at centre back. I don't know. I didn't really want to be developing players for Celtic if he's on a long-term deal. I wouldn't mind if he had like maybe 2 years or something left and it was maybe like we'll loan him for a season and then that option to buy. But if he's a long-term deal, we're not going to have that option. So unless that became a thing, then nah.
Liam, would you see? How would you feel if he came in? From what you've seen, would he improve us? And on Dave's point, how would you feel about loaning a Celtic player who?
I've seen him a couple of times. I thought he was. I'm sure he played against us. Was that in the game where they had COVID after come back from Dubai? I'm sure he played in the back four against us that night, and I thought he was all right. I think he played in a couple of the Old Firm games that I watched, and again, not a standout player, but definitely not the worst in a poor Celtic team. But I'm not interested in a loan. Next question.
Fair enough. Like I say, I mean, I had it down here. I was going to ask, but I'll just kind of read out my point. That there has been reported interest from Celtic in this bit. I just sort of thought, what if maybe it's a thing if they were like, we know you're looking for a centre back. Here's $4 million plus him on loan for a year. It means we get a centre back, and it means we get a player developed. But you two have kind of shot that down, not wanting Celtic. I remember this happened when Middleton signed. Why would developing Rangers players?
He was shy.
So I am all for equal hatred towards Celtic and Rangers, as many folk know. So of those names, Dave, who are you wanting in? Is any other names I've not mentioned?
Nah, well, that a Dolphin for Hamilton, I thought he was probably the most likely to happen out of all of them.
I thought he was a fullback.
It's a genuine question. I don't know. Can he play centre back? I know he can play quite a few positions. Is centre back one of them?
Couldn't tell you. I just knew he was a defender. I didn't watch Hamilton, mate. I've got better things to do on my time than watch them. So yeah, but there seemed to be a bit of talk about him. So no playing or something. Don't know what the rumours are. So see what happens. But I'd take out of them. Obviously, I would take Kerr and McCart. Like we've seen them enough last season to know that would work. No, it's not a gamble at all. I'd splash on Kerr as well.
Yeah.
On the two of them, to be fair, I'd spend a bit of money.
Kerr, 24, do you think there's like, to me, the way Hibs seem to approach things is how much could we sell this player on for a profit? Do you think there's resale value there? Do you think 3 or 4 years' time we're going to be able to sell him for decent money?
Yeah, but at the same time, you invest in your team and maybe go further in Europe, which then gets you more money. you know what I mean? We've got to think that way as well, not just selling value. It's like, where can we take the team to progress? If we're winning cups or if we're getting further in Europe, then we're going to naturally get more money that way. It doesn't need to all be about sell. There's got to be a balance, obviously, definitely. But I think if we that Hibs squad now is not that bad. It just needs a few tweaks in that, and then we'll be better than we were last season. So
yeah. Liam, who do you see come in? Is there any other names that I've missed that you've heard about or would be interested in seeing?
None that I've heard of. There's been a couple of folk on here saying Katic from Rangers, they're looking to get him out on loan, but then again it's the same kind of deal. It wouldn't be as much of a development thing. I think he's maybe like 26, 27. I wouldn't mind taking him on loan if it meant that we could get him permanently, kind of same deal as Jamie Murphy. But out of those four, I think it would definitely be McCart and Kerr and maybe cheeky wee Alan Ozturk.
So like I say, let us know who you think we should sign at centre back. Seems to be a position we're definitely trying to recruit in. So like I say, we'll have a quick chat about Europe, obviously playing on Thursday night, and then we'll finish up with any of your guys' questions. So get your questions in just now, and we'll come to them at the end. So the last sort of thing here is obviously Europe. We touched on the tickets earlier on, so I can score that off my notes. But Dave, I mean, it's just great to be back in Europe again, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously we should get by this round and then get another round, but they're just something about, like, obviously getting games every week and that, it just adds a bit of excitement, especially like this early in the season. It just makes the summer a bit shorter, doesn't it? Especially the Euros just finishing. It doesn't feel like we've had that big a gap without football. Yeah.
I mean, Liam, obviously there's financial pressure on not pressure, but preference, I guess, would be a better term, for the club to reach the group stages. A much bigger payday. But I guess with the news about no away fans at any of the games until in the qualifying rounds, that kind of, as a Hibs fan, that's one of the main reasons we want Europe, isn't it? To be able to go to away games. So that kind of makes for us the reaching the group stages even more important.
Definitely, and I think not only us, but you look at the team that we're playing. I can't remember their name. Santa Coloma, I think. Is that what the team name is that we're playing on Thursday? I don't know if they've been in Europe before. They've probably got a lot of fans who'd love to go on a European tour and watch their team play against, a Hibs, or if they managed to draw, if they got past us and wanted to go to Malta or Croatia. So that's the teams that I really feel for. We've had our moment already, been able to go on a European tour.
I'll let you feel less sorry for them, because I'll quickly say I've got a thing here. Here's their European tours. They've been in Europe every year for the past so long. They get pumped out from Malachi, Tel Aviv, and a few other teams I really don't know the names of. I don't recognise. Obviously, a lot of the time it's been Champions League qualifications, because they have won the league there. They were going for 7 in a row. They won it 6 years in a row. They were going for 7 and they lost it. They came second, so that's why they're in the UEFA Conference. So,
fuck them, man. Fuck them. Fuck their fans.
They've had lots of European experiences.
Aye, I don't care about them anymore. I thought they were a nice wee team. Going, we're playing a big team. Fuck off. Stop trying to butter us up.
You fell for it, mate. You fell for it.
He did. He's had that prepared, and as soon as I've said that, he's thinking, "Oh yes, yes."
But yeah, I mean, Dave. On the team, Santa Coloma, they do have a bit of European experience, but even with that, this is a team we should be getting by.
Aye, and like earlier on, I was like, "Oh, it's a diddy team and that," but obviously, I've got to be a wee bit cautious in case the unthinkable happens, but. We should be winning comfortably. Game should be our first leg, and then just concentrate on the next round, which is just straight after, isn't it? You just play every Thursday for now.
Yeah,
insane. This is the exciting part. Like how much Thursdays can we keep going on, and hopefully it's you feel like you go on a good wee run though, didn't you? Like that in 2017 or whenever it was. Like we felt like we went on a run. We didn't really. 3 games. I know, but didn't it feel like it did feel like we were on something? So yeah, I just want that wee rush again.
Yeah. Desperate for it, and like I say, I'm desperate for to get the group stages because I want to go away. I probably can't afford it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I was even looking at flights for Croatia today, before Callum pointed out that it's all the qualifying rounds, not just this one where there's going to be no fans. Like I say, even for the away game against Santa Coloma, they've announced it's behind closed doors, so no home fans either. Unfortunately for them, so yeah. But let's have a look at the Hibs squad in relation to it. Liam Doidge has been out with COVID. Came out and spoke about this week about how the fact that he was bedridden for 7 or 8 days with it. So great to see him back and obviously getting in and training and getting minutes against Wraith Rovers. But I mean, this game's probably came too soon for him, hasn't it?
Maybe just a shade. I think if he'd maybe got another week of training, you'd maybe see Doidge. Get an hour or something, but I said I fully believe in the team to go out there without him and do it for Christian. He deserves it. But no, listen, just a wee bit soon for him. But hopefully he can be involved next week and put 6 past the fuckers.
Dave, I mean, we like I say, we do obviously want to respect the team, but you both kind of said that it's a game we should be winning comfortably. McGuinness and Newell started together when we're kind of speculating could those two be competing for a jersey. But in a game like this, do you want to see Gogic start beside one of them, or is there maybe an opportunity to play the two of them together?
No, I'd put the two of them together. I would just start like that. To be fair, that's what I want to see. I want to see like attacking football. If this team are just going to come and sit part of the bus and that, there's no need to play Gogic. They could be quite hard to predict. You'd rather have a couple of people in there that can, like, maybe play passes and that. Like Gogic is not really about that, is he? So
no. So, I mean, I know we spoke about centre backs earlier on. Gogic did play the last 20 minutes against Arsenal at centre back, so maybe that's something. If maybe that's Jack Ross thinking, if I don't get a centre back in, maybe I need to makeshift one. So I can prepare yourselves for that mentally. But hopefully we'll sign somebody. We're putting bids in. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so final thing is score predictions, guys. What's your score prediction for the game?
5-0.
Wow, Liam.
10-0.
I think I kind of was putting up a match graphic for editing the score once it happened, but I've put 3-0 on that, kind of thinking hopefully that's right and I don't have to change it. So yeah, I'll go for 3-0 Hibs and then get over there and get a few more in the away leg.
They can't be any better than that fucking bunch of Arsenal that we just pumped last week.
Aye, mid-table average. That's all they are.
Aye.
But yeah, so final thing before we get to your questions, just to say, the Fantasy Football Scotland, we've done it last year. We kind of mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Make sure you join that. If you've done it, already had it, you're just a case of updating the app. But if you didn't join, it's very easy to join. Our code is just Hibs Talk. The guys set us up a private a league where you kind of, even if you go at the leagues and scroll down, we're kind of one of the featured ones there with our image and everything. It's really cool. So thanks to the guys at Fantasy Football for that. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, Dave, have you done your team yet?
Just like a draft though, just to get in, and then I'll edit a bit. But I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling. Like the prices and that are through the roof. You're kind of forced to take maybe at least 4 bottom 6 players. Whereas last season I didn't really think you were. That was about that. I had mostly top 60 players.
Yeah, so, I think a few players you have to take sort of gamble on them maybe being unexpected successes.
So yeah. A couple of Hearts players, they'll be a big gamble.
I think I've got a Hearts boy. Who did I take?
I didn't, and I felt bad.
I think I took that Ginelli or something.
I thought you took Halliday since you were going so much.
I've not got Halliday now.
So yeah, so like I say, get your score predictions in and your questions. We'll go through some of your questions to finish up today. I'll scroll through it and see what we've got. So this will be some of the talking points from earlier on. Let's have a look. So, 2 seconds.
I'm looking at YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, read some of it.
Lewis Connor saying thoughts on the extra 2,700 tickets for Thursday. We already touched on this, but Dave, it's frustrating to see other clubs get more, isn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, we're probably absolutely no point mourning about it. That's what we've been dealt with. So there's the 4,700 that are going to be there. That'll, like Jack Ross said, and I think it won't sound like that amount. It'll be much more. Like, everyone will be buzzing. So that's what it is.
Next question here. So Liam, come to you first. John MC 2005. How far do you think we'll go in Europe? We spoke about the sort of how great it would be for fans to get to group stages. Is it possible? Do you think?
I'm not just saying this, but I actually think that we'll not lose a game in Europe until we win the Champions League. We'll win the Conference League, then we'll win the Europa League, and then we'll win the Champions League. John, hope that answers your question. Cheers, mate.
Dave,
I think group stages.
It's going to get quite tricky. Like I say, I mean, looking at the kind of draw today, it's been better than it could have been. Looking at some of the teams, tough tie over in Croatia, but one, I think, looking at the team, sort of brief look today, one would be favourites going into, but then it does get tricky after that going into the playoff round, doesn't it?
I think we'll struggle against that Croatian side, like just with it being so early on in the season and that as well. In 2019,
in the middle of their season, do we can? Are they one of these?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but
I've not looked into the Croatian league yet. No,
they beat Aberdeen. Obviously, we said 2019 they beat Aberdeen 4-0 in aggregate. So
that's Aberdeen.
I know, but that Aberdeen team a couple of years ago were fucking skeleton was about the place. So I don't know. Like we see, didn't know what their team's like. Or that they they're a bit of an unknown quantity to us, but we can only look at like kind of history results. But I don't know. If we have any ambitions, then it's not the worst tie we could have got, but it'll not be easy.
Aye.
We've got a question here from really saying you got the right mic plugged in this week. Yeah, apologies for the audio issues last week. You can, for those that are watching the video, you can see that the Blue Yeti mic is behind me, and I had it picking up that mic rather than the mic that was in front of me. Silly Gavin. How come Aberdeen? Says White at 57. How come Aberdeen less? How come we're less than Aberdeen, but a far bigger stadium? I think it's just down to the councils, isn't it? We don't know that for certain, but that would be the educated guess, wouldn't it be?
Well, it's fucking stupid. That's what it is. Isn't it? Absolutely, it makes sense anymore.
No. Well, it's a bit more open, isn't it? There's a big corner in the Aberdeen stadium that's not got a roof on it. So I don't know.
Like COVID will go out that way. Like any COVID gets in, it goes out that way.
Nah, it doesn't.
We've got a question here from Facebook from Ewan saying full stadium in Wembley, 160,000 at the Open, thousands at the Grand Prix. I think it was 170,000 scheduled for the Grand Prix or something, Dave. It's ridiculous that it just doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah, that's what England do, it. So like they've had their own rules for a wee while. So I just think when you look at the Scottish comparisons, just the thing that annoys me probably most is the crowds at Murrayfield, and then having 25% capacity weeks ago at the Euros when Glasgow was in Tier 2. So now we're all in Tier 0. How come we've got 25%? Like surely 2 tiers better on and a few weeks better on. Learning fit, like we're meant to be coming out restrictions on the 9th of August or whatever it is. Just think a bit more common sense could have been that you could have had a test event where you could have had it half full, and then rather than just going for 25% into on the restrictions in a few weeks. I don't understand it personally, but I do. It's just like there's a hatred against football. I honestly think it's that simple. So.
I think it's ridiculous that we've got the game on the 7th of August, and the way things stand, it'll probably be 2,000 people at that game, our first home game of the season, and on the 9th, if it was on the 9th, would be allowed full capacity. It's not
daft.
Like I say, White 57 on the Dave, you're saying about the season ticket. Has saying the same thing. It's not updated yet about having a season ticket for this season yet.
Oh man, he's made me relax a wee bit.
So Reedy 16 saying letting Malin go will be a mistake. He's agreeing with you, Liam. And we've got Ewan asking, who do you think will take free kicks now that he's away?
Ozturk.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen the highlights from the Wraith Rovers game. A fantastic assist from McGuinness, Dave, wasn't it? The Porteous' header.
Yeah, I was going to say McGuinness. One of the boys that were at the game for the chat said that he was putting on the heat of everybody. So, yeah, quite promising. To be fair, he's kind of got to bring something to the table. He's been here for long enough, hasn't he? So hopefully he's good at set pieces. Even though I thought Joe Newell was good at putting the ball in the box too, wasn't he? So,
as long as it's no Martin Boyle, I'm happy with that.
I'd second that.
On the game, Keith saying confident we will win on Thursday, but we must be professional enough and don't take this team lightly. And you, few comments from you today. Thanks for getting involved. So he said FC St. Coloma are the only team from Andorra to win in any European competition, and the only team that did not concede a goal in a match in a European competition. So, not high standards in the Andorran league, apparently.
Nah.
Long Bangers podcast that are giving us a nudge to kind of say about Tom James signing for Leyton Orient. Thanks for that, guys. And let's see if there's a few messages here kind of coming through about Douglas saying Jason Kerr, please, when we're talking about centre backs, and Lewis saying 100% a centre back is needed. And let's say that was the thing about Katic earlier on, just sort of catching up here. I don't think there's any other questions there. Yeah, so and a question from Kyle: do you think Jack Ross will leave this season?
No. Not this season. Not this season. I think, to be fair, I don't know if he's got a long shelf life. Like, I think maybe after this season, depending on how it goes, like, he had the fans in his back last season, didn't he? Because we bottled the cups. There's no other way to put it. We bottled the cups. So I think this season, if that type of thing happens again, performances against Hearts are poor, and that, I think folk will be right on his back.
Yeah.
So,
I think Jack Ross is here for the long term. I've said this a million times, and I think we should get used to him as Hibs manager, because I think he's going to be here a while.
But the thing is, he delivered third in that as well. But the league last season was poor, so I think now he's got a wee bit of momentum, a wee bit of spring, and be like, right, let's go.
I think the more likelihood of him leaving is if somebody comes in for him, because he's doing well at Hibs. But at the same time, would he want to rush down to England after the Sunderland situation?
Sunderland is a poison chalice, though.
Yeah,
you've got to admit that, you know, anyone that takes a Sunderland job, you've seen in the documentary, the guy, I don't think he's there anymore, but the guy who was running the club was an absolute fucking need case. So, you know, it's a bit of a poison chalice. I mean, I wouldn't have touched this Sunderland job with a 10-metre pole. No, that they'd ask me. I know absolutely hee-haw about football management, but no, I definitely would have taken it. So I'm ruling myself out of becoming the next permanent Sunderland manager.
And I also got a message earlier on today from Ryan saying I'll be in the hospital for tonight's podcast getting surgery, but I'll be watching the podcast after. So yeah, we shouted to Ryan. Hopefully everything's went all right with that. And thanks for always for listening. I messaged Ryan a few times. Great guy. So thank you very much.
Best wishes, Ryan, mate.
With the surgery.
Hope it all went well.
So well, thank you very much for the questions. And like I say, guys, what's your plans for this evening?
I'm just going to go and do absolute hee-haw, if I'm honest. I've been working all day, so grafting.
Yeah. Liam?
Yeah.
Wee bit of Love Island for me.
Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah, we need to stop asking these questions at the end of the pod until that's finished, because pretty sure Craig or that said the same last week. So yeah.
I enjoy Love Island.
I know you do, mate. You do you. You do you.
It's good drama, mate. Incredible drama. I don't want to spoil it for you by telling you.
No, it's fine. Thanks, I appreciate that.
I'll text you though when it's on, and you can put it on and watch it with me, do you know? You know what?
Phone will be on mute.
I made the well, not mistake. I have to say, I feel really fresh, but like, obviously everyone knows I'm a big wrestling fan. The return, like America's just like full capacity with stadiums and stuff. So I got up, I went to bed at like 7:30 and got up at 2:30 to watch one of the pay-per-views with full fans, and I've been up since 2:30. So I'll probably be an early night for me. Although I'm feeling alright, to be fair. I thought I was going to be dead on my feet, but yeah. So that now the Love Island chat has started in the live stream, so we'll not touch any of that. But guys, thank you very much for chatting with me today. And like I say, everyone enjoy the game on Thursday. Those that are lucky enough to get a ticket, and obviously those that haven't, enjoy whatever plans you do make. Guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the sunshine.
Cheers, Gav.
Cheers, man.